Hey guys, welcome back to another Arsenal video. Bit of an interesting one for you. Deal, keep or sell. I'm going to take every single first team player and a couple of the reserve / academy players that we've seen this season, and I'm going to categorise them in 3 different areas. Deal as in must keep, offer them a new deal. Long-term future players. Then we have keep, players that we should definitely hold on to, maybe not quite renew their deals just yet. And then we obviously have sell, or in some cases just release. Just pay to get rid of them. I'm still absolutely fuming about yesterday, and to be honest, I'm fuming from the last 6 or 7 games where we just haven't been good enough. In the Premier League, we've won 1 in our last 5 when we absolutely needed to be winning 4, drawing 1 minimum. But anyway, we're going to get right into this, and I'm going to be pretty brutal. It's going to be a long video, this, but I'm actually very excited to do it. I haven't thought about it ahead of time, so you will disagree with me. A lot of people will disagree with me, but I think a lot of people will also agree with me that we have some absolute trollop at Arsenal, some real dead wood that need to be gone, but also some players that I don't think are shown enough love, that deserve new deals, whatever. So we're going to start off with goalkeepers. If you're wondering how I'm doing this, I'm doing it on Photoshop, so I can just move around players and stuff like that. So, first of all, we've got Martinez. Emi, who's been at the club for so long, needs to be sold. I think that he's probably absolutely fine as a backup, but there are talks that he will be our backup goalkeeper next season, with Ospina potentially sold. Petr Cech is obviously retiring. Not so sure that he's good enough to be Leno's backup. So Ospina, I know he's going to be sold. I think it's pretty obvious at this point that he will not be at the club after this summer. We're going to do columns of 2 here. I've just realised I think I might have made the pick just a little bit too big, because we're going to have a few in this sell category. So up next we have Leno. We've recently signed him, so we don't need to be offering him a new deal just yet. But let's just say if we were 2 seasons in, he'd be straight in here. He has been phenomenal for us. But he's going to go into the keep category. And of course, Petr Cech is leaving already. He's not going to be sold. He's retiring, but we'll put him in the sell column for now, even though we're not selling him. But we're freeing up his wages, which is definitely a good thing. So that's 3 players out of 4 sold already. Fantastic start there. Okay, into defence now. It's going to get fun, this. We currently have a couple of players out on loan, as a reminder, one of them being Chambers. For me, Chambers, it's a bit of a difficult one, because is he a midfielder or is he a defender? He's played both positions for Fulham this year, who of course have been relegated. I think most of his appearances have actually been in midfield of recent. So this is where it gets a little bit difficult. If we're keeping him as a defender, as a centre-back or a right-back, he goes into sell. If we're keeping him as a midfielder, which I think is his best position, he's a keep. So it is a difficult one. I think for the benefit of the doubt, I think that we would play him in midfield from now on. And if that's the case, then I probably would hang on to him. And you've got to remember, as a Premier League club, you have to have a certain amount of English players in your team. And we don't actually have that many. You know, it's kind of worrying, actually, that all of the best English players are outside of Arsenal, when in the past we've had most of the best ones. So I'm going to go with keep just for now, but he's very close to being on the sell list. Kolasinac, I would keep him. I would not be offering him a new deal, but for now, I think it's very possible that we will need him as our backup left back, especially if we are losing Monreal at some point. Mavropanos, I wouldn't be getting rid of him just yet. I think that he's still got a lot to prove. Still very young, of course, but potential there. There is definitely potential for him to be a very good centre-back, but possibly a loan. I think maybe we should be sending him out on loan next season. Jenkinson, I don't need to say anything. He's got to go. With Ramsey leaving at the end of the season, Jenkinson becomes our longest-serving player, which is quite hilarious. How he's still at the club, I don't know, and I've just seen we've got Mustafi next. But Jenkinson, there's no emotion in this for me. You've got to be ruthless in football these days. I'm fed up with Arsenal making decisions based off emotion, especially over the last decade or so. A lot of players are at the club just because I think the club feels bad for them. Quite simply, there's just no reason to keep them. Jenkinson must go. He'll go for a good million or two. Why not? Frees up some wages as well. I think his wages are 50k a week. It's ridiculous. Torreira's on 50k a week. Mustafi, yeah. I mean, if I could, I would release. But of course, that's not going to happen. It would actually be very expensive to release Mustafi. I know his contract is relatively high. So Monreal is it's a difficult one, this, because I do actually like Monreal. He's been a great servant of the club, and I wish we could rewind time and have him back when he was 27, 28. He's coming to the end of his career, and I think it's time. I think it's time that you bite the bullet and you sell players that are just not going to cut it anymore. And don't even get me started with Lichtsteiner. He'd be gone as well. Now, Koscielny, that's a really tough one. I don't think he's going to retire, but I don't think he's going to be at Arsenal for much longer. I think, if anything, he will go back to France. Maybe he'll end up playing for a Marseille. Maybe he'll go back to Lorient. I don't know. I think he still has value in this squad. He's our captain. He has been one of our better performing defenders since he came back from injury. So I'd be putting him in there, just like that. Socrates, 100% would keep him. I think alongside Koscielny, he's been our best defender this season, centre-back wise. Bellerin, didn't even think about that. I'm debating between deal or keep. The problem with Bellerin, again, is the inconsistency. One week he's fantastic and he's the Bellerin we want and love, and then the next week he's just error-prone, defensively inept. But to be fair, I would give Bellerin a new deal. I think that his contract will be coming up at some point, and there is always interest in Bellerin, especially Barcelona were keen on potentially retaking him or re-signing him. He used to be in the Barcelona academy, didn't he? So I would probably offer him a new deal. I wouldn't say, a crazy amount of money. If he was asking for Ramsey-type wages like Ramsey was, and we don't feel like it's the right fit, then let him run down his contract. If that's what's going to happen in football these days, that's just what's going to happen. We're not able to stop it necessarily. So I think Bellerin would get a new deal, in my opinion at least. Up next, midfielders. And yes, I've definitely made these pictures way too big. Let me go ahead and make some space. Okay, that's probably going to be a bit better now. So Willock, definitely a keep. No, it doesn't fit. There we go. That's a little bit better. So next we have Asano. Some people might not even recognise him. Don't think he's put the Arsenal shirt on yet officially. Sell straight away. He's been out on loan for, is it 2 seasons now? Maybe 3. I mean, okay, sure. Xhaka. This is going to be controversial, but I would offer him a new deal. I think Granit Xhaka is one of our better midfielders on a good day, and definitely one to help solidify a squad. We need a core, and I think Xhaka is part of that core. Guendouzi doesn't need a new deal, but he would definitely be a keep. I very much think that he has a huge future ahead of him. Whether it's at Arsenal or not, who knows, but he's a great, great talent. Denis Suarez, the most pointless signing in Arsenal history. He's just picked up a groin injury that's ruled him out for the rest of the season, if you didn't know already. So I'm pretty sure we'll be sending him back to Barcelona. Sell or, release, whatever. Take him back. We don't want him. Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I don't know what's going on with his deal. I would definitely add him to the deal list, though, if he hasn't got a good deal already. I know that he's been at the club for quite a while now, so it could be it's time to renew his deal. I think he's similar to a lot of the other young players at the club that have played a bit of first-team football. They're future investments. They're players that we need to keep at the club to avoid other clubs coming in and buying them, because Maitland-Niles probably isn't worth a crazy amount of money, but us Arsenal fans, if you watch him week in, week out, on his good days, which I think are more often than the bad days at this point, you can really see this guy is talented. He has a big future at Arsenal, and I don't think we're even playing him in his right position. He is a centre midfielder for me. I think, with Torreira and Xhaka, maybe a Maitland-Niles goes in somehow at some point, and it just gives us that more balance. I don't know. Torreira recently signed, doesn't need a new deal, but I am a little bit worried about the fact that he's only on 50k a week. He could probably be getting 100k or more somewhere else. So he's, again, hovering into that new deal kind of category, but I think just keep for now. Mesut Ozil for me is a sell. A lot of people are going to disagree with me. A lot of people will agree with me. The problem is he is so 50-50. He barely plays. He barely plays games anymore. And the guy is on ridiculous wages. 350,000 a week, reportedly. The issue is we're not going to be able to sell him with those kind of wages. Who the hell is going to pay that much for him? So, however we do it, I don't think Ozil requires a new deal, and I certainly don't think he requires to stay at Arsenal. I think he should be someone that we try and offload to free up some wages. I think we're better off without him, and it's really sad because he's such a good player. He has a raw talent that not many others have, and that's the passing ability, but I just don't think he's worth that money, and I'm fed up with the, is he starting, is he playing, is he not, is he, oh, it drives me mad. Ramsey, as we know, is already on his way to Juventus. He will be sorely missed. Mkhitaryan, he's a sell. I just don't think he's good enough. He just simply isn't good enough. El Neni, same as him. Same as Mkhitaryan. Just not good enough. Which is crazy. I need to move all these players up now. We're going into the attackers now. It's a bit easier though, because actually a lot of our attackers I think are very, very promising. So Smith Rowe, I know you recently signed a new deal at the club, went out on loan to RB Leipzig, so he is definitely a keep. Reece Nelson, is he a new deal or is he a keep? I think he's a new deal. I think he's been here for a little bit longer than Smith Rowe has, hasn't he? And Nketiah is definitely a keep. And then we've got Danny Welbeck. He is a sell. And then Iwobi, I think he is a keep. Iwobi's a difficult one, though, because he has been good and bad. Very inconsistent. But selling Iwobi would be a mistake, I think. He still is a good player. He's just not first-team quality, if you ask me. Aubameyang is absolutely a keep, but not a new deal. Lacazette, however, is a new deal, for sure. He has to be in there. Am I happy with this? Because that's all the players I can actually get off their website. I know there's a few missing, like Plaguezuelo, Zek, Medley, Gilmore. I know he played. Who else are we missing? Saka. So there's a few that could be in here that aren't. But all of the youngsters that are featured this year, I wouldn't sell them. So you don't need to worry about it. But I think I'm happy with this. I'm still a little bit on the fence about Ozil. Yeah, I think I'm happy. What would you guys do? I should probably hide my camera while you take a look here. Let me just get rid of it. I don't think I've got any in the sell that I don't think should be sold. Obviously, some of them are just either retiring or going on to another club and it's confirmed already. In the keep, there's a couple of them that I probably would offer a new deal to, but you know, you've got to see these two categories as pretty much the same thing. It's just players that I want to keep at the club, but some of them I feel like deserve more. They deserve to have, yeah, more. Just be bigger players at the club, you know? So hopefully you've enjoyed the video. It's been good fun. I'm sure a lot of people will disagree with me, like I said, but that's fine. You don't have to agree with me, but I've enjoyed doing the deal, keep, sell. It's something I've actually thought about doing for a little while. And I've been a bit brutal, but this is just how I feel as an Arsenal fan right now. If we make it into the Champions League, we will have a nicer budget. Adidas coming in as well as the new kit sponsor at some point soon, which will also give us more money. And of course, selling some players will free up a lot of money. And there's no doubt in my mind that most of these players in this keep and deal category are good enough to be at the club for the near-term future and some of them the long-term future. But are they good enough to win us the Premier League, get us far in the Champions League? No, they're not. We need to be spending a lot of money. But thank you for watching, guys. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. I'm posting on Instagram every single day now, so please do follow me. It's @officialmgh. There is a link down below, and my Twitter's there as well. And I will see you in the next video.